All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I am your man with the plan, Mr. A.D. Walker. We're going to have a great show today. We have our special guest back in the building, Fred Brandon, the cryptocurrency blockchain expert who's wrote an amazing book, and you're gonna keep seeing me throw this book up. You need to make sure you get that. Great book. I'm pulling out for two reasons. One, so you can get it. Two, to show you I got it and reading it. So definitely want to get that. This is your opportunity to share. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring, because we are going to have a great conversation today. Also, make sure you're a part of Blessings, Lisa. Blessings. Also, be a part of our community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576 and be a part of these conversations as well. All that is happening on the Legacy Walker Network. Make sure you do so and be a part. Let's put that in there. Spliggity splow. So today we're talking about, will the blockchain replace the internet? Will the blockchain replace the internet? Of course, this man not only knows about the blockchain, he knows about cryptocurrency. And of course, you can bring those questions at Rel. But my focus is going to be on that blockchain. If you want to get some more info, go back a few episodes. He was on here and we dug deep into the cryptocurrency. And I just had a few more questions we're going to dig into with that. But coming to the stage right now, my brother, like no other, from Tennessee. The man with the master plan. I got blank there. I lost my train of thought there. The man with the master plan that would choose Jordan over everybody. Mr. Cole Johnson. Yeah.
Who was the man with the master plan? Oh, I'm sorry.
What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I guess you can call me YZ with that introduction.
Right. We're gonna go ahead and get started, and then we're gonna bring on my brother, Mr. Fred Brandon, and he's gonna drop some knowledge on us. Hey, Mama McCory, greetings. All right, let's see. Right. Spliggity splow. Let's do this. So like I said, make sure you share. This is your chance to share. Tag somebody you've had the cryptocurrency blockchain discussion with, even if you argued with them. If you on the side of, I believe in it, they're like, oh, it's a bunch of junk, bring them in this conversation because we want to educate them. All right, let's get into it. We'll be right back. I didn't want to catch that. Good morning. Welcome to another episode. Good morning. Everybody. This episode is brought to you by StreamYard. Ready to go live? Go to bit.ly/StreamYard BOL. That's bit.ly/StreamYard BOL. This episode is also brought to you by Self. Build credit now. Go to bit.ly/now build credit. bit.ly/now build credit. All right. Let's get into it. Coming to the stage, all the way from DC, the man with the plan that understands cryptocurrency more than anybody in the world. Yes, I said it. My brother, like no other, Mr. Fred Brandon. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, man? I appreciate it.
You good. Gotta hype it up this morning. It's Monday. It's gonna be a great week. And we are talking all things blockchain and crypto. And I love it. It's crazy how much it has grown in such a short amount of time. Has gone from I don't know what this is to what we doing to I think I need to put something in. I think this is going to be something. What is that blockchain thing? So it's awesome. It's amazing. And we're gonna kind of dig in. I'm gonna hit you with some questions, and if you got some code, just jump on in. So the first thing I wanted to ask, we started talking off screen, was the okay. So the volatility question. How you say how you mentioned, I know no one cared when it was going up, everybody cared when it was going down, and they were like pointing and seeing, look, it's going down, look, is with it being a actual currency, the exchanging, today I'm going to buy something from Cole, and the crypto we're dealing with Bitcoin is at 45,000, when I'm like, he's like, cool, pay point whatever 5, however we discuss the amount, and then it drops to 20, or even 10,000, and he's like, hey, did you see where you're at? You're gonna have to put a little bit more in because of the value. Is there any way of stabilization, or is this kind of like the world we're gonna be living in with the Bitcoin?
All right, so that's a loaded question, and there's a lot of I think people just need to step back and think a little bit more what's really going on, right?
Yes, sir.
And you have to think of this as an asset,
yes.
Right? So if I decide to sell you my house today,
right,
and it's worth $50,000, whatever,
right.
If it goes up to 100 tomorrow,
right.
Or the same way, right? It's the exact same thing. So it's like, hey, well, technically this value is worth a little bit more. Now you have to. All right. So if you're thinking about it the same way, if you're, this is actually going to be an asset that you're going to be, looking at long term. So if you're looking at, give me, 1 Bitcoin for this, or, today, and they, Cole decides to give that to you, or you give it to him.
Right.
Then you understand that value of that Bitcoin is, it may go up today, it may go up tomorrow, but at the same time, as the recipient, you're like, I'm even better. I feel better for it because you made that decision to accept Bitcoin for it. I'll give you an example. This billionaire that will remain to be, I refuse to name him out in person, but he sells cars, right?
Let's go there. Go there. Yes, sir.
He sells cars, right? And he said, hey, look, I'm willing to take Bitcoin for this car purchase, right? Okay, so you understand this as a consumer. You saying, oh, I can use Bitcoin to purchase this car.
Right.
Okay, knowing that in maybe a year, that Bitcoin could probably not just be, 40,000 or 50,000 where it is now. It could probably be up to 150,000.
Right.
So as the merchant, you understand exactly what that value of that asset is.
Right.
Now, as the consumer, if you don't understand what it is, then you understand that you paid $150,000 for a car that's not even worth the same price you bought it when you drove it off the lot.
Right.
So I think we really need to start looking at it in a lot of different ways because we're not really thinking of, everyone is just kind of looking at Bitcoin as just like it's really something new, right? If you go to Mexico today, and you say, well, my peso, I can get, 15 pesos to $1.
Right.
Yeah, but tomorrow, if you've ever been to Mexico or ever been out of the country, you understand that that exchange rate fluctuates.
Right.
So, I mean, so we're talking the exact same thing, and no one's realizing like, oh, well, yeah, it's now it's worth 18 to 1.
Right.
But if you're on the side of the peso, then you're like, I'm loving that US dollar. Otherwise, but if you're on the US dollar, I'm like, man, I could have got some more for my buck. But you're not thinking about exactly what it is. You're thinking about that purchase that you made at the time being, not exactly the future value of it. So I think that you really need to start thinking about it in certain ways instead of saying, well, hey, look, you're living in the now.
Right.
You know, if you're living in the now, you made the purchase, you accepted the product or service or did
Right.
whatever for this amount. Now you know that it can possibly go up or go down, but at the same time, you understand how this works, that it will fluctuate, and that it, you know, at the end of the day, you know, that, you know, one Bitcoin that you got for whatever, you know, product or service is going to be eventually worth more in the long term.
I'm gonna need you to give me some more service if it goes up, if it doubles.
Right.
And now
Okay,
here's
Fred, I know you're gonna give me an hour, but have you checked how much Bitcoin is? I'm gonna need like 3.
now,
Yeah,
here's something I have to ask. Now you were mentioning someone's name,
right.
and
Right, good job.
I do have to ask. Would figures like the name that rhymes with Dion Husk, are there particular people who are purposely trying to make the market volatile, or
That's good. That's good.
or is it simply they don't have a clue as to how this market is?
Right.
They know exactly what they're doing.
That's what I thought.
And you have to understand that when they know they have a certain type of power, or that their words, you know, provoke some type of response, you know, they really need to be careful with it. Understandably,
right.
that the SEC can easily bring him up on charges every time he does it, but at the same time, you know, my money's long, right?
Right.
And I can kick out that money back to you, you know. But at the same time, I've done whatever. So if I can say something, and I can say something that kind of makes the market tank a little bit.
Right.
I had just bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin.
Right.
So if I say anything and it makes it go down, guess what I can do?
Make it go back up.
No.
You can buy some more.
I can buy more Bitcoin at a lower price.
Some more.
Right.
And then sell off at a higher price.
Exactly. Because
the market goes up.
Because at the same time, company bought 1.5 billion, right?
Right.
Dion Husk.
Love it.
Hey, he doesn't necessarily have to report how much he's buying.
Right.
Hey, remember,
that's good. That's good.
Entities matter.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So coming to the stage next up, my brother like no other, from South Carolina to Georgia, straight in the place to be. My brother like no other again, Dwayne Goodson. I'm a little sleepy this morning. Can't get my announcement together.
You know how it goes.
Brother like no other twice.
Brother like no other 2 times. Oh, what's up, Dwayne?
What's up, man?
Welcome to the convo. Oh,
gentlemen.
Hey, what's going on, man?
How you doing, bro?
All right. So we quashed the volatility. So if you missed that part, make sure you rewind. If you're on YouTube, you can go ahead back. I made sure that's open. Oh yes, and we're gonna get into that. That as well about the 21. Is it 21 million? With Bitcoin.
Yes, it's only 21 million ever.
Okay. So I'm gonna dig into that. But my first question. So what time is it? Oh, going over time. If I get Bitcoin today, right? I purchase it at whatever it goes to, whatever, and I'm like, boom, I want to cash out. Is it pretty much an instant cash out? I know whatever service I'm using might take a day or so, but it's pretty much the 3-day business time, or
no, it just depends on, like you said, it depends on what your exchange is, what the network response time and everything is going on, but you may be able to cash out within an hour,
Okay.
You should be able to get that. It just really depends on where you are. It's like, so certain apps like Cash App or something like that is pretty much going to be, close to instantaneous, where you can put it right back in your bank.
Nice. What's up, Dr. Tammy? Great morning to you, my friend. Okay. That's cool. All right. Did you have a question, Dwayne?
No, I was just gonna say.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that the 1.5 billion had me confused, but I soon realized it was just an example.
Right.
No. So it's 21 million coins, but he bought $1.5 billion worth.
Okay.
Right.
$1 billion worth.
$1 billion worth. Yes.
How many? So do we know how much that was?
At the time, I'm not sure exactly how many it was, but there are a lot of. I think there's I think it's called like Bitcoin Treasury or something like that,
Right.
where you can see how many coins certain companies have.
Right.
Like MicroStrategies, and they're out there pretty much buying everything under the sun. So last time I looked, I think they were up at like 92,000 of them.
Wow.
But that's that was before this last dip. So I'm sure they're accumulating as many as possible.
Right.
Now let me ask the question that Black people will ask. Can you trust the treasurer?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, we're talking about a website that's
right.
Yeah, exactly. That's something different. But that's something totally different.
It's not the system. It's just that site. I call it the pocket watcher. It's just somebody watching your pockets and understanding which company has what, right? And that's really what it is. Right, because the ledger's open, because it's an open ledger. Right. And that's the thing. Right. That's the one of the best parts about it, that there's transparency. Everybody know what everybody else has, and
it's not necessarily by name.
Yeah,
it's technically by because no one knows exactly who's what. Right. It's that pseudonymous type of thing. Whereas I understand that this wallet holds 100 Bitcoin. Right. But I don't necessarily know who it goes to.
Right. That's what the FBI and CIA and IRS don't like. They don't know. They don't know who's who and what they're doing with it.
Hand out my pocket. I was thinking, get your hand. Looking at my pocket for? What you count my Bitcoin for?
Hey, Aunt Sam. Good morning. Good morning. So my last Bitcoin question, kind of dealing in. This one's gonna get a little deeper, so I might have to talk slow, and you might have to talk slow to kind of explain it. All right. So if everybody understands the blockchain, that's basically like individuals are like individual kind of like servers serving like under one network, basically. Is that the best way to kind of explain the blockchain?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
We'll go with that. Okay, so and they're mining, doing calculations to earn Bitcoin themselves. Each mining server is doing calculations, and so they get to the 21 million. How do these part of the server, the Bitcoins, continue to get paid?
So they're still getting paid because of the transactions. Okay. So every time there's a transaction done, they have to do the confirmation on the blockchain. Right. So they're still going to get paid because of that. Now the 21 million is not slated to be finished mining Bitcoin until 2140. So a lot of these people right now, we don't have to worry about that. We got about 119 years to go. So there's, we're talking, there's a long time before we get to the.
I said 2140.
2140.
That went over my head.
Right.
I thought I heard 2040. Like, I was like, like 80.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to celebrate that time.
Point is mine. So how it works is there's a halving every year. Right. So every 4 years, there's going to be a half of what is being produced right now. So like right now it is, 6.25 Bitcoin per, in 4 years, which will not technically 4, is 3 years now, because it was in May of 2020. So May of 2024, it'll be spitting out 3.125 Bitcoin,
Nice.
For each single word.
Now this question may be a little out there.
But
like American banks, FDIC approved, right, for insurance. Right. Now, since this is not based in any nation, and I'm not really knowledgeable of offshore accounts, so how do they treat this? What governs this? Like, is there a law? Like, if somebody stiff you, where do you go? Because you can't go to the police department or the FBI if you get a issue with Bitcoin, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, this is decentralized, and that's the reason. That's the reason why it exists, is because there's no central government or central entity that's governing over this. So it's decentralized. Everybody is their own bank. Right. If I am sending money to you, I'm sending money to you. If I'm sending money to AD, it's that. There is no middle ground. There's no entity between us going to either regulate and say, no, you can't send that much to AD, or, hey, I'm making sure that, you're not sending him $10,001. So I want to take 30% of it, like a MoneyGram or Western Union or someone like that that's constantly in your pocket while you're trying to send money to family members or whomever. If you're trying to do business internationally, they're going to really tax you. Right. So there's, decentralization is the key of Bitcoin and this, this cryptocurrency. I won't even say phase, but it's this cryptocurrency era of understanding. Now there are different coins and different currencies out there that are not really decentralized, but that's a totally different subject.
So there are different taxes for different regions of purchase. So if I buy something Chinese made using Bitcoin, they pretty much hit me with import export fees within that tax type deal.
Who?
You'll pay whatever
from China. Let's say I purchase a mini forklift straight from China wholesale. Are they, since I'm circumventing the U.S. Trading with China, am I going to incur some type of tariff on that purchase since it's from China and I'm circumventing the way traditional people make money?
So not necessarily, and the reason why is because when you KYC into a lot of these exchanges, whether it's Coinbase, Binance, any of these places, a lot of I hated that I named that one first because it sucks, but a lot of people are using it. That's the only reason I said it. So when you're on these exchanges, they understand, they make you go through this KYC AML, right? Which is know your customer and anti-money laundering. So they know exactly where money is going and what's going on. And then, they're in bed with so many of the, these federal regulations that at the end of the day, you're going to have to say that, this is how much, Bitcoin that came in or went out or whatever, because taxable events are not necessarily, is not based on what you bring in. So if you're buying Bitcoin, it's not a taxable event. When you're making purchases, when you're, when you're selling it back for fiat, those are going to be taxable events. So while you're using that one, that Bitcoin or whatever that you use to make that purchase in China, you're going to see that on your out, right? It's going to show that, you sent, 2 Bitcoin to China or, to a wallet. And then you're just going to have to, when it's time for you to do your taxes, you're going to get a nice form that says this is kind of like what came in and what went out. And then you're going to have to do your taxes appropriately.
Okay, so this is just another way of doing money. It's not necessarily a way of circumventing governments.
Yeah. And a lot of people have to realize that governments are still trying to get their hand in your pocket. Yeah. Right. Yeah, and they're doing it in so many different ways. So with them being able to be friendly to some of these exchanges, the kickback is we can give your information to the government to say, this person, saw, had this, right? Or they did this. So that's why there are a lot of different ways where people are trying to, run their own node, do different things. So you're not necessarily, on the exchange, and you're doing all your business off an exchange. So, there's different ways to do it, but, it's not, having your own node is not a cause or a reason for tax evasion. That's, you're just going to bring the heat down on yourself. So just understand that, you still, when it's time to do your taxes, it's best to still be honest about your, your dealings, or any of your transactions that you have.
Now, full well the government's going to say, give it to me. Right. You already know
that. They're saying audit. They're over there.
All right, so we're gonna shift the conversation a little bit. And if anybody have any questions about blockchain or cryptocurrency, I want to talk about the blockchain and some of its attributes and the things that it will hold in the future. I was kind of digging into some YouTube, reading this amazing book by Brandon. Make sure you guys check that out. Adopting blockchain and cryptocurrency. It
Turn it
really
to the
digs into
side.
a lot of
Turn it to the
definitions.
side.
Huh?
You got to get black people the side view, man. Let me see that spine. Let me see what I'm working with.
So make sure you definitely check the book out. It'll get in depth about a lot of the stuff we're talking about. We're just trying to give you an overview and have the conversation, because sometimes it's great to ask somebody when you got these thoughts in your head. So we're going to dig into the blockchain right after this. This episode is brought to you by StreamYard. Ready to go live? Go to bit.ly/StreamYard BOL. That's bit.ly/StreamYard BOL. This episode is also brought to you by Self. Build credit now. Go to bit.ly/now build credit. bit.ly/now build credit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. So the blockchain, right? The thing that cryptocurrency is built on. So what are some of the future uses the blockchain be? Because I was going through one YouTube and they were like, it could replace the internet. It could be another space where, you can still get your products and services just in more of a decentralized manner, but it could be better served because there's no one space where the server can break down and it's hard to get to. And you have kind of like, I call it the Terminator effect, where there's more computers doing some work to make things happen.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, that can definitely happen. I mean, we call it the decentralized web. There are a lot of different things that's out there already that's currently doing that.
Right.
You just, sometimes you may have to use a special browser like Brave browser or something like that to get to some of these websites. I have one is fredbrandon.net, and it goes directly to my DWeb, and it has everything that's out there. You wouldn't know it by exactly that it would be a decentralized web, but those type of things you're able to run. You're also, which is also attached to that, is my domain name, which is imfbrandon.crypto, right? So you can easily go, if you have one of those special browsers, or if you have a Chrome browser and you have the extension that allows you to see decentralized websites, you can go to imfbrandon.crypto and you'll be able to reach that site as well. Now with that, not only am I able to use that domain for my website and do whatever I need to do, but it's also a web address for crypto. So if you wanted to send me Bitcoin, or if you wanted to send me Ethereum, you can send crypto Ethereum to imfbrandon.crypto. So not only is it a payment solution, but it's also a website. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can utilize DWeb.
Nice. Go ahead. You're thinking.
No. I'm listening.
Yeah.
I don't talk a lot when I don't know a lot.
And and if you're interested in going to that, it's unstoppabledomains.com. If you are a brand that's out there, you could probably go ahead and pick up your name, .crypto, and it's kind of like a one-stop, one-time fee instead of paying that domain fee every year. I think it's like, depending on what your name is, it might be like a one-time $40 or a one-time $80 fee. And then you have that and you're able to set up websites and also set up your crypto wallets. So you can accept certain other crypto.
I like that.
I said, so well, my brother, I'm lost as a ball in high weeds. I'm gonna get it. Listen,
that ball lost,
don't worry, Auntie. That's a lot of us.
So I know it's hard to, because you're trying to wrap your head around just understanding how it works. Kind of like, it's almost like how the internet started, and we were like, how does this thing work? I remember they kept showing the NBC. It was like the NBC morning show. And it was like, what does this @ mean? Like, just figuring out email, like at what? Like that don't even make sense. So it's the beginning. So what I want you guys to listen in, two things I want you to either get dug into, either learning how it works and learning who to invest in that's building these blockchains. Because those are the two spaces that you really need to dig into as far as wealth, because a lot of our community, we miss out on these moments because we don't jump in the beginning. You know, it's cool
Right.
to be cautious and curious, but sometimes it's like, okay, I think I know enough. I'm gonna throw a little bit in. Don't, not your whole retirement plan to one company, but something, so when that shift happens, you're like, wow, that
Or
money
like-
just paid off my car,
or like a phrase you that you used to hear back in your youth, AD. Well, sometimes we had to jump out the window.
Right. You have to make that move. So understand, like, try to grab the nuggets you can and ask questions. This is the space there are no dumb questions. Don't worry. If you're thinking like, what's a Ethereum? Ask the questions. When you hear a word, you're like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And I just want to touch on what the blockchain really is, and it was kind of going back to your first question that you said that. So understand that the blockchain is not necessarily just going to be in the financial sector. It's going to be in a lot of different areas, whether it's going to be in real estate, in healthcare, in IP, which is intellectual property, supply chain. There are so many different areas that you can use blockchain in. So, and a lot of people think that you have to be a coder or be any of those type of things to get in a blockchain. That is furthest from the truth. Understanding what you do is going to really make you valuable to the blockchain. And the reason why is like, because of what you do, you understand your job inside and out, right? But the thing is, coders don't know what you do.
Wow.
We just code. we know you got to tell us what to do. So as you're creating these processes and understanding exactly what your job functions are, you need to be able to be that liaison between the coder and you or your job to say, hey, look, this is what we need to do. We need to be able to create processes that we can streamline, and maybe we can use the blockchain to do so. If that, you're being able to be like a blockchain consultant type of thing, where it's like, okay, I don't necessarily know, all the code part, but at the same time, I know how, it's just like having a technical program manager or project manager, right? They don't know everything.
Right.
They know how to run.
Right.
They're like a project manager. They might not necessarily know all the JavaScript code or all the Solidity code or all the, any type of thing that, the coders know. But they know how to get things done, and they know exactly, what they know. So, sometimes you might be that person that's in between that understands exactly what needs to happen and be able to relate that to the coders. So there, like I said, there are a lot of different avenues that you can go into. Understand it. Once you understand the blockchain is, then it's not just going to be the financial side of it, but it's going to be it's going to touch a lot of different sectors. There's, companies out there like Walmart and Starbucks and, the airlines and insurance companies, all these different places that are using blockchain already, to kind of, take a lot of that weight off the server and so many different things where it's like, okay, I can ease my processes this way, and I don't necessarily need a trust system. I understand exactly what's going on, and I can create.
So before you get too far, right? Is this its own network, or does it rely and live on another network for access? Because you're talking about relieving some of the traffic on the servers. So is this information on a completely separate server, separate from the www, like an intranet? Well, no, because that's still on the.
Yeah, so it's its own entity, right? So you have to think about it in different forms, right? So whether you're going to have something that's going to be like an internet type of thing where you have a cloud solution, right? Just say you're using Amazon Web Services.
I know. No, go ahead. I do. I'm gonna make you slow down. Like, get the acronyms because I know some of them too.
AWS or Amazon Web Services, something like that. They might have things like that you work on the internet with, or within Azure or something like that. You're going to have, you have a blockchain that is also created. Now they have a blockchain as a service through some of those programs, but it's as a service. But it's still going to be, it can still be a separate entity than from the internet.
Right. That makes
Hopefully,
sense.
hopefully that makes sense. I mean,
Okay.
It makes sense.
right.
I'm just trying to make it make sense to the average person. But
Right.
no, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Would
It's
you say
change. It's what it is. It's change. It is different.
instead of and see if I got it right, because I'm just kind of learning this myself. All right, instead of Cole doing all the work and processing and doing everything and pushing out the information and taking in information, Cole takes some, I take some, Dwayne takes some, and Brandon takes some. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And actually, that goes to your question: why is it called the blockchain? Exactly here. I'm taking some, he's taking some. Everybody's kind of working a piece of it,
Right.
instead of it just being in one central area. Am I correct?
Yes. So I'll answer that question really quickly. So, why do we call it a blockchain? So, initially, you're going to have it's called the Genesis block, right?
Okay.
So you get one block, and you're going to have, I like to say, transactions on it. So transactions, everything is a blockchain is really nothing but a distributed ledger. And if you think about a ledger, it's kind of like, I'm keeping books here. And if I'm keeping books, then, AD's keeping books, Cole's keeping books, Dwayne's keeping books, right? But it's all connected. So everybody has the exact same ledger. So it's a distributed ledger program, right? So understand that. So now that Genesis block, that first block is going to have, the first 100 transactions within it.
Okay.
Okay. And when you decide to hash that, when you decide to hash those transactions, it comes out in a long hash, right? That's just going to be, you can't change it. That means one transaction in that block, if you change one transaction out of those 100 transactions, it's going to spit out a completely different hash, right? Because something in that block is not the same.
Okay.
Right. So, and this is all in cryptography.
You're talking about accessing information here, right?
What's that?
You're talking about accessing information with that block of
So I want to say, like, if you had, like, we're gonna make it like you have a store, right? If you ever worked retail, and they had the batch at the end of the night, and you saw all the transactions for the day.
Okay.
Right. There we go. So we got that batch. That batch of transactions is going to be what it's going to be, and now they're going to encrypt that, right? And you can't change anything in any of those transactions in that batch, or it's going to spit out a whole different hash. It's going to spit out a whole different
total kind of thing,
right?
Okay.
So understand that. So that first batch, or that first block that has all those transactions in it, spits out a unique hash.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to take that hash from the block 1, move it over to block 2. Block 2 has its own set of, it's just say the next day of batches. And it's the next batch of transactions 101 to 200.
Okay.
Right. Now you have that batch coupled with the hash from the previous one. And now it creates another hash. So now it creates block chain to block 3 to block 4. So everything, you can't make any changes in any of those blocks. Otherwise, it would spit out a completely different hash and it would break all of the chains. So that's how the blockchain works, because not only is it this blockchain, if somebody tried to hack one place, they would have to hack every addition,
I got you, because I got a total, he got a total, and you got a total.
Yeah.
And that we have a ledger of movement of money, basically, or movement of transactions.
Right. And then because it's distributed, all 5 of us or all 6 of us has a copy of that ledger. So not only would they have to hack it in multiple places, but then they would have. So that comes to security of being able to understand and ensure that everything within those blocks, and all those transactions are secure and have not been changed. We call it immutability. Once it's been written to the blockchain, that is immutable and it hasn't been changed. So it gives us a sense of security to understand that all the transactions are secure and has not been tampered with.
Right. She said, wouldn't that make it easier for them to hack since it's linked? But if you, like he explained, each block I guess is connected with the other transaction, and everything. If it doesn't match up, they have to go to
Yeah.
I think I got lost
so
right
it's distributed. So it's one thing. It's one thing if you're trying to hack a server. If you're trying to hack a SQL server or something like that, it's one point of failure, right? That makes it a lot easier to hack because you can hack one database and boom, everything's gone, right?
Right.
But this is distributed, so you know how many places you would actually have to hack simultaneously.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's not going to happen. So
okay,
not feasible.
And I mean, at this point, Bitcoin is 12 years strong. It hasn't been hacked. So just to let you understand how that works.
I was just trying to figure out because I get the concept, but then as you were explaining, I kind of it was like circuits in a series the way I was trying to follow it. Does that make sense? Like the old Christmas tree light?
Think about working in Excel.
Okay.
Think about a spreadsheet.
Okay.
Right. Imagine you have a spreadsheet and everybody on this call has the same version of that spreadsheet.
Right.
Okay.
It's no longer just you with that spreadsheet on your own.
Right.
It's now a group of people that all have visibility to the same spreadsheet. So every transaction in that spreadsheet, as a brother alluded to, think about batching. It's a tracking of transactions. So every cell in that spreadsheet that has information or every formula in that spreadsheet, we all have visibility to.
Right.
Gotcha.
If I have a picture of it, Cole has a picture of it, AD has a brother. I apologize. I didn't catch his name.
Brandon. Fred Brandon.
Brandon. And Brandon has a picture of it. There's 5 copies in 5 different regions across the US of the same sheet.
Right.
Okay. Insert a criminal who wants to poison or corrupt your copy of the sheet.
Gotcha.
All 5 of us have linked copies. So if something changes in your version, right, it has to be checked across my version, Cole's version, Brandon's version, AD's version.
Right.
And that's the way things.
And if we find if it doesn't match up, yours gets whatever he tried to bring it, add to the chain, it gets thrown out.
All right. Okay.
It gets rejected.
That's good.
It has to match every other
so
copy in order for it to be validated as a part of the chain.
Right.
And so the way the system is created, when something doesn't line up and it doesn't matches the other ones, and they haven't reconciled that together, it gets tossed out.
It gets kicked. Exactly.
Tossed out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, I got it. It makes sense.
All right. Has everybody got that? I know it's deep. It's a little new for a lot of us. Try to make it make sense.
And this is the Bitcoin finance piece only, correct? This is the money.
No, it's everything.
No, I'm just saying the blockchain. It's in reference to the financial.
Now they can use it for any type of record. They're good. They've expanded blockchain. So now you can use it in healthcare, you can use it in finance, you can use it in legal contract, any binding contracts, because if you make a change to a contract and it doesn't match my version of the contract, it still gets kicked out. The new version has to line up with everybody. So now it goes beyond cryptocurrency. Right. Now it can be used in other areas and other industries.
Right.
Okay, so that reason is the reason why AD posed the question. Because I was like, how is blockchain taking over the internet? And all they do is money. Okay, but I'm seeing the applications as it's growing.
Right.
Okay, I'm seeing it.
Think about the carpet industry. You want to order carpet. You're building a house and you want to order carpet from a carpet distributor,
right? Online,
right? Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, what you ordered isn't what you got.
Right.
They're going to have to track and make sure that what you ordered lines up with what's actually in the original transaction.
Right.
And now I can guarantee you what you ordered because I have 5 copies of that transaction across the country. So you can't come back and tell me you didn't send me what I ordered because I got 5 versions of what you actually ordered, and vice versa. If I send you something different,
Right.
everybody in there is going to have to hold me accountable as a distributor because we all have a copy of the actual order. So if something showed up that doesn't match the order, then I'm going to be liable for shipping you the wrong stuff.
Right. Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Security. That's good. Keita said she'd work on a shared drive, so you should always balance across the board. If your drive is tampered with, the corruption is easily caught. Okay. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
This is going to be it would be actually an increased cost.
Right.
Think about your Google Drive, right?
Right.
Today, you have a shared drive. So if I want all 5 of us to interact on a single document, I can put it on the shared drive and we all have access to it.
Right.
And you know how you go on there and if I'm typing in and I'm making if I'm altering the document, you can clearly see on the screen Brian McCrory is working on the document.
Right.
Everybody sees the same thing. So there's a timestamp for every transaction that is recorded. We do that today with Google. The problem is Google is more easily breached than what you would see in blockchain.
Right. And just to make sure that
well said. Yeah.
And just to make sure that there's a difference and that people understand the difference between distributed and decentralized, that would be a distributed system and not necessarily decentralized because Google still kind of owns it and they can do whatever they want with it. Right. So distributed is a little bit different than decentralized, and distributed is what we were talking about right there.
That's good, Brandon. I'm glad. I hate I'm late, but I don't know. Did you explain the difference between centralized and distributed? Because decentralization means all of us are our own version of Google.
Right.
Distributed is Google has it and sends it out to everybody.
Right.
So what we're talking about in blockchain is I'm Google, you're Google, Dwayne's Google, Cole's Google. We all have our own application. We own our own component.
Right.
So humor the dummy one more again, right? So if this was 9/11, right? The difference between what we currently have and what blockchain represents is 9/11 and the set of intel and how it was gathered by the various alphabet agencies. That would represent what we currently operate under. Decentralized, everybody has control of their own stuff. And if I share it with you, great, you know it. If I don't share it with you, you never know it. And hey, a bomb is going to be on a plane is going to be used as a bomb, but we didn't tell the other 5 agencies. So this one person got some information. So under the blockchain version of events, whatever the FBI knows is automatically going to be replicated and shared with the CIA, which is automatically going to be replicated and shared. No, not replicated and shared, created and built on. Okay, you're going to have to say it.
No, that's no. that's kind of left field. Now I will say it could happen, but probably wouldn't happen. So I mean, because the thing about it is you have to think about blockchains is not like this mythical place that everything is just connected. There are different types of blockchains. There are permission blockchains. There are private blockchains. There's going to be a lot of different blockchains. So, everything is not just going to be, on one entire blockchain for the world. So if there's a blockchain, just say for the school system, each different university can have their own, separate blockchain because they're taking care of the things within their own industry. But at the same time, if they wanted to attach themselves to some type of consortium, then they could join that where they could work with like all Ivy League schools or something like that, right? But it's not just going to be everybody in every school under from ITT Tech to Harvard and everybody being on the same blockchain. So the same.
So there's still going to have to be intentionality.
Right.
You're going to have to want to share information.
Right. Okay. Makes sense then. Okay, got you.
All right. Richard said, so Google needs to seriously upgrade security all the time. They make enough money to spend a billion on security upgrades, and they won't be able to be breached. Why not Google go on the blockchain?
They don't want to really. They don't want to pay that money.
It's a different kind of conversation, right? You can integrate the blockchain platform and technology into Google, but what you must realize is Google is their own entity. So you can like Google can make a decision that they have created or become a part of the blockchain platform, but Google will always be Google. You got to realize that blockchain means I own my piece, you own your piece, and collectively we make up the blockchain. Right. There's only one Google. Right. So you like Google has a cloud, right? So if you want to be a part of the if Google wants to insert themselves into something, like if Google partners with like a crypto provider or something like that, they only become a part of a larger blockchain. Right. Yeah, does that make sense? Because blockchain is it's a concept, it's a strategy, it's not a company.
Right. Gotcha. Makes sense. Okay. So we kind of got an understanding of how the blockchain works. Yes, like currently.
I gotta go study.
You said what?
I gotta go study. I'm not gonna put that. I'm not at that class.
Speaking of study, make sure you pick up adopting blockchain and cryptocurrency by the man Fred Lee Brandon, embracing a digital future. This is all the state.
That answer the question because I heard them, but I don't get it. Bit, but not a lot, but a little bit. So yeah, I got to go back and like, oh, okay, now that's
it. So the Fred's book.
You know how a spreadsheet is a single document,
right?
Yeah, Dwayne, and a database is like a spreadsheet is one document that you can work with or a couple of people can work on. Gotcha. A database is a house. It's an apartment building with a whole bunch of spreadsheets in it. Right. Spreadsheet is one document with one sheet or multiple sheets. A database is the place where you can house 1,000 spreadsheets or multiple companies that hold these spreadsheets. It's so much larger than that.
Like a filing cabinet in the hundreds of filing folders.
Right. So imagine you have the spreadsheet and imagine the database is blockchain for spreadsheets.
Right.
Okay.
And blockchain is the same thing for databases.
Right.
Are you with me?
I think I am.
It's like driving. It's like driving.
The concept, but when you say blockchain, for whatever reason, whatever I hear blockchain, is like, poof, everything goes black. So I like the concept. I get it. And then when you say blockchain, I'm just like, huh? Wait a minute. Is it so basically, okay, let's take the database of it, right?
Right.
Okay, so slow walk, blockchain and database. How do they correlate?
Well, blockchain is the highway for databases.
Okay, gotcha. So the I-95 or the I-20 connecting all these cities within the state. Gotcha. Okay.
But it's a snapshot of every transaction. It's a snapshot. Okay. It's so
a real-time Google Earth. And you driving through these states. Okay. Making sense.
It's I mean, you confusing me. All right. Because I get it. I get because basically every blockchain knows what the other blockchain is doing.
Okay.
Right, but it's a snapshot. It's a recorded, it's a snapshot.
Right.
At a point in time.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So
so that is the block.
Information from set points in time.
Yeah.
Is that part correct?
Right. It's an uninterruptible snapshot.
And now for me to change any of that information everybody who's a part of that block.
No, you don't change the information.
So
That once
once
the block is established, once the block is established, it's there. The only change would be recorded in a new block.
That's what Brandon was talking earlier, right? It's there and it doesn't change ever.
It doesn't change. Yeah, but once the block is set, it's set. And then what happens if you have another snapshot? It becomes a new block.
Right.
That gets checked against the previous to make sure everything is in order.
So does the old block become obsolete, or is just a snapshot of what it was at that point?
You have to have the chain of events recorded.
Right.
Yeah.
Part of the chain. Like he said, one block goes from 100 to 200. The next block goes from 200 to 300.
Time period.
But each one it's like a snapshot. If something changes,
day one of tomorrow, one of the day after that, and each one of those are the blocks within the blockchain, correct? Okay.
Right. So
when you were talking hacking of the block,
if you mess with a block and the information doesn't match, they kick the block out.
They kick the block out.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not the block as the entire block, but if something is changed, if something is being trying to introduce. If somebody's trying to introduce something now that get out of here with that.
Was made it make sense. That's why I was having a problem. Okay, when you were talking hacking, I was like, okay, how would you gonna hack information that's just? But when you said the hacker is probably trying to change the information in that block, correct? So when it doesn't line up with everything that's already snapshot, bye, you don't belong here. Something
that's the security part, right?
Gotcha. Okay, we good. We Gucci. I'm good now. I just little things had to make sense, but it makes sense now.
I know my people now. If anybody has any questions, I know it's a lot to consume. I'm definitely gonna have Mr. Brandon back on again, and we're gonna dig into it again. Because I know this is a new space. It's almost like to start the conversation. It's kind of like this is the internet talk when we didn't understand the internet. What is this? How does this work? And it's blessing that Pastor, he's actually been in this work for a long time, so that's why he understands the blockchain. So his whole job and everything deals has an understanding of the blockchain. So that's awesome. He said Brandon can friend me. But we're gonna have him back. We're gonna slow walk it as we develop more layman's terms, because when Brandon starts talking, he'll start busting out acronyms, and we're like, "What? Wait, what does that mean?" Okay, then with that acronym, what does that acronym? What does it really mean? What does that word mean? What is that? So that's why you need to get this book.
Yeah,
exactly. It's all in there.
Knowing is half the battle.
And then you'll still ask what those acronyms mean.
I thought that meant this.
So yes, it's a lot to it, and I wanted to have the discussion because we've been so hung up on cryptocurrency. We've been so hung up on Dogecoin. Like the money. But there's so much more. What is the cryptocurrency ran on? Because that's what I've been digging into lately. Like, okay, the blockchain. Who's investing in the blockchain? Who's building a better or stronger blockchain, and how can it affect us in the future? And how can we either as a consumer, an investor, or just someone that wants to get in it technically, because our kids need to know about the blockchain. They have to understand. I feel they should know and have an understanding of what's happening, because they can, capitalize on the blockchain before it blows up. Because a lot of times we miss out because we sit in an unknown space and we don't move, and I get there's always an air of caution and curiosity, but you just need to dig into it. Don't let the not understanding of it keep you from trying to understand it, So that's why I want to have this conversation. I know some people lost. I lost a couple of people. It's like, you know what? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. And I got to go. So we're trying to have this conversation to be as clear as possible. And I thank Brandon for trying to break it down as much as he can. He's like, and thank you for Pastor for bringing some clarity as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're going to have a conversation again, and more things will start making sense. So hopefully we gave you guys some nuggets to kind of chew on a little bit to get you going.
I appreciate the two of y'all. Look, y'all I was sitting there like, and y'all could have laughed at me harder. 'Cause my mind
Nah,
is
man.
funny. My mind is funny. My mind works funny. So when you get how it works and you can answer me, it's like, oh yes, God put you in my life because I need that. As Pastor was laughing, he had all the right things to say, and I was like, okay, makes sense, got it.
All right. All right. So if nobody has any questions, I know. Well, you probably have a ton. I'm sure. And I said before, there are no dumb questions. So if you're in the audience, you're like, I want to ask, just go and throw it out there because I know Ashley asked, and Brandon spoke about it earlier. What did she ask? Boom, 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 about the internet. Boom. Where can I find it? Okay. Yeah. So she said, so you don't log on to the internet to use it? She said, I don't get it.
So
it's go ahead, Brandon.
yeah, it's totally different. So it just really depends on how you're using it, right? So there's gonna be different things called like decentralized applications or DApps, which are technically web applications for you to interact with the blockchain. So a lot of different things are going to be ways that you can interact with the blockchain, but it's not just one way that you do it. So yes, there's going to be some type of internet connectivity somewhere, but it just really depends on how you're using it. Every instant is going to be different. So if you're sending money like Bitcoin or whatever via phone, I mean there has to be some type of transaction somewhere, whether it's satellites or what have you. It's different ways to communicate with a blockchain.
Yeah. Just to think about the fact that you have to be able to get out. How are you going to get groceries in your house without leaving your house? It's possible to get groceries into your home without leaving home, but your message has to leave home.
Right.
You got to be able to reach somebody because the groceries aren't in your house.
Right.
So there's going to be multiple types of on-ramps. You have to keep in mind that blockchain technology as a strategy is really designed to distribute uneditable information.
Right.
That's the whole purpose of blockchain, is that I want to be able to share information that cannot be messed with.
Right.
So
that's what it
is. This is your read-only database sheet. This is your read-only Excel document. That's what blockchain
right, exactly. And I was gonna say that. I mean, when you think about databases, we think about CRUD, and that's another acronym that I just wanted to put out there. I figured I might as well go for the trifecta of so CRUD: create, read, update, delete. Right. So right now it gives you.
I knew that one.
It gives you. It gives
alphabet soup.
It gives you the opportunity to create and read.
Okay.
But you can't update or delete anything.
Nice.
That is interesting.
Let that marinate. All right. We had a lot to chew on. If you missed something, guess what? There's a rewind button. Just go on back. And if you came in late, you missed some stuff because we gave a lot of foundational information. He did mention some sites on how to access blockchain, how to access the crypto space. So definitely check those out. Friendbrandon.net, imfbrandon.crypto, and unstoppabledomain.com is where you can get a domain in the blockchain space. Correct? All right.
I feel like I learned something now.
All hearts and mind are clear.
Hey, look, blockchain is not Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not blockchain because you can edit that stuff.
Right.
If you got a .edu page, that's only information.
Right.
You can't go in there and change nothing. That's blockchainish.
Blockchain.
Those of y'all who would be like me.
There you go. Today's word is blockchainish. All right.
If you'd said read only, I'd have had
it. We appreciate you, Fred, for being with us. Let's see. Anything going down the pike or happening that you just want to share with us before we get out of here?
Just stay tuned. There's a lot of things happening.
You're welcome.
Make sure you visit my website, fredbrandon.info. There will be some new things happening within the next week or so. So just stay tuned for that, or make sure you're following me on all social media at IMF Brandon.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right.
My
So,
screen frozen,
Thank
but
you.
I'm clapping for you.
all right. So make sure you guys get that. Stay connected. Get all you need, because his brothers are gonna show us the way. All right. So we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Whew, we're gonna take it a little lighter. It's not gonna be as deep. But we will dig into some more of this. What else? I think that's it. Thank you for being here. Make sure you share. And if you're looking for more information to continuously stay connected with the Brothers of Legacy, as well as everything happening, make sure you join our community. Text LWN to 84576. Text LWN to 84576. And that is all. All right. So as always, we love you, but God loves you more. Stay safe, stay safe, stay safe. And we'll see you in the AM. Peace out, guys.
I didn't want to catch that. Good morning. Ooh. Welcome to another edition of Good morning, everybody.
This episode is brought to you by StreamYard. Ready to go live? Go to bit.ly/StreamYard BOL. That's bit.ly/StreamYard BOL. This episode is also brought to you by Self. Build credit now. Go to bit.ly